holding. Is it? And it's still it's weird. My face is really really big, and I got my phone held as far away from my body as I can. So this is crazy. Yeah, I am located. I am on a cruise boat, a dinner boat. Just finished our first cruise. We do on Monday and Tuesday. Now we're doing two of them from 4:30 to 6:30, and then from 8 to 10 we cruise. Dinner cruise, fun, fun, fun stuff. I play music. I get to eat food. I get to, and then they pay me money on top of it. So it's a beautiful thing. Okay, I'm sitting on the boat here. You can see behind me the Clearwater Beach is behind me. So I can't see what you guys are seeing. But yeah, we had some issues, I guess. I don't know if it was a Zoom thing or what. But we're doing, supposed to be doing a Q&A. I missed the first half hour. I got in for one question, and then we decided to change up platforms. So we're moving to this, to a different streaming stuff. So it's all Greek to me. But I can see the chat is rolling nice and clear. Lucy Lou and Joey G's in the chat. But we're having fun, man. Just doing what we do, living our best life.
Yeah, we're
right?
working
We
out.
can't.
We're trying to get Robert's issue fixed, but we're up live now. So I'm gonna go. I,
Just go, Lewis. When I get in, I get in.
okay, and I'm gonna drop the other stream. So Bruce, stall for about 30 more seconds, and I'll be right with you.
30 more seconds, no problem. I can stall really, really well. That's
And
one of my
Robert-
main things I can do.
Robert, you can
Is
still
I'm
come through on
great at
audio,
talking.
right?
But we're this is so much fun to live through this period of time right now, to see the really the falling apart of every single narrative. I mean, we the people are really rising up. I have said on my show multiple times that this two-party system that they have had pigeonholed us into, this binary choice, this 0 and 1 in the matrix, if you will. Every time a third party has tried to gain some traction, it's crash and burn. The system puts it down. Well, there is a third party rising up all over the planet, and it's we the people. I don't know if you've seen recently, Brazil is out there again protesting. The farmers all over Europe are going crazy. In Germany, they built a wall. They built a structure around their whatever they call their government building out there in Germany, to keep it, to protect democracy. I don't know. Is that to keep people in or to keep people out? I don't know. They're probably putting up more wire around the Capitol building as we speak. I don't know. It's kind of crazy that every time you wake up and scroll through some headlines, you see some more crazy stuff that you just it becomes to a point. If you can't see it, you're beyond help. That's why I'm moving away from that's not my focus. My focus has been more waking up the lions, trying to empower the lions within us, the warriors, the people, the healers that are going to be needed as this thing falls apart, and more people realize that every single thing that they believed in their entire life, the institutions that we're told to trust, the history, all this different stuff has been fake, phony, and false, as Dave from X22 says. It's been BS. We've seen right now when they come out with a new narrative, we the people tear it down in seemingly hours. They come out with some new crazy thing, and it's just completely thrown under the bus. They cannot get any traction with anything that they're trying to do. And so more and more people are becoming aware. If you're not, I'm sorry. There's you're beyond help. All we can do is love them and pray for them that they their eyes are open, that the veil is thinned for them like it was for so many of us.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything you just said. In fact, let me tear up my script because you just took everything I was going to talk about today. It's beautiful.
Was that everything? I took care of everything in like 3 minutes. That's good.
That's it. Yes, I know you're used to 3 minutes. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to go over some questions for us while we're trying to get Robert Imbraeli back on. I'll run through some questions until Robert lets Lisa know. Thank you, Lisa, for being a trooper. For those of you that are just joining us and don't know what the heck's going on, we had a major white noise, crazy static 45 minutes on, and we had to recreate the feed 2 times to bring it back to you. But hey, looks like you can hear us now. So let's roll with it. Um, Bruce, first question. Your educated guess on how much we see is white hat scripted wake up versus real black hat that had activity. We went through this, but it was white static. So let's answer this again for people if you could. And don't use my talking points or I'm gonna crawl through the computer.
I, I just can't. I mean, I don't think there's much black hat. They're just throwing everything at it to see what will stick on the wall, and nothing is sticking. So I'm believing there's less and less black hat, if you will. Um, Putting labels on things. I hate the labels, but good versus evil. I believe good is winning out more and more every single day from the local standpoint, and even some federal stuff. I mean, all federal stuff is completely smoke and mirrors. It's completely political theater at this point. You can't believe anything that comes out of from the federal standpoint.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I'm saying good is way winning more than evil.
Yeah, I did a full expose on Nicholas Van Ammen's channel today on the CIA and the CIA. I really called them the enemy within because that's what they are, and this so-called organization that is supposed to protect us does exactly the opposite. They go after us and they try to keep their control is what they really want. But in regards to the question, by the way, Lisa, amazing job. I didn't even know you had the questions, and now she's posting them on the screen. Boom, bada bing. That's awesome. So
We
in
got a
regard,
great team.
oh my God, it's an incredible team. So in regards to the question about white hat script and so on and so forth, I don't believe there's white hats anymore unless it's the person looking in the mirror, and that's you. And I think we are the true white hats. And when we realize this, and I know I've been harping on this for 2 years, but people are starting to come around. When we take ownership of this. We have to take ownership of where we are, by the way. It's your fault. Sorry, it's my fault. Well, how could that be? No, it is because we were still letting things slide because we wanted bread and circus. Let's just be honest. That's the way it worked. There's maybe a small percentage out there that are like, oh no, I never. I've always knew, and I told everybody in the world, and I lived off the grid. Well, if you lived off the grid, you wouldn't be watching this right now, would you? So, so the point being is, guys, we all have to take accountability for what happened. Now we can move forward and take ownership of what will be. So you're the white hats. In regards to the question, though, I believe it's like close to Bruce. I believe it's a 50-50. 50% gray hat, 50% black hat. But I definitely see the trend going in the gray hats getting out the information. I think it's very, very interesting. Um, so cool. Let's go on to the next question. Is Robert able to come on yet? We got a hell no. Okay. Next question is, Lisa, do you want me to keep on these? Oh, she has them already. Oh my God. Big air hug for Lisa. This is awesome. Says next question said, why did the white hats do absolutely nothing in this case and are allowing the 2024 election possibility to continue dragging on all this year? Is Trump that deluded? Well, I think that's a very myopic standpoint to think that it's that easy. It took 1,000 years for us to get here, guys. 1,000 years. To even think that we'd be done with this in 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, I think it's pretty naive to be honest with you. I think by the time we get to where we want to be, it may be 20 or 30 years. Sorry, but guess what? Let's not be selfish. This is about the kids. This is not about us, right? We need to tee this up for the children and for the grandchildren and the great great grandchildren all the way down, right? That's where our legacy is really going to be. Will we see a much better world while we're alive? Yeah, I think so. I really truly believe that. but we have to understand that it's not, is Trump deluded? I think the reality is, I think when Trump and their team got in there, it was a hell of a lot worse than they ever suspected. And I also believe that they were infiltrated to a degree that would blow you away. People that he thought were real close to him. I still think he's getting bad advice sometimes, by the way, because I see some of the effect of that. But remember, this is a 1,000-year war, right? So to figure out this could be finished overnight, I think is just unreasonable at this point. But I think we're on our way.
And what was the question again?
It's it says, what color underwear are you wearing?
Today they're black.
Okay, good to know. It said, why do the white hats do absolutely nothing in this case and are allowing the 2024 election possibly to continue dragging all this year? Is Trump that deluded?
No, it's not that they're doing nothing. And just like you said, if we were just to flick a switch, right, and just come out and just put everything on the table. I mean, there's 100% disclosure of everything right now. There's still people that believe that are what would we would consider patriots, right? That are awake. We would consider awake. Their heads would explode. That there we're not. I don't think from a really deep spiritual standpoint. I don't think there's many people are really really ready. I'm even myself, I would even put into that realm. When all the truth really comes out, if we're just a flick a switch and this all of a sudden that then what do we do, right? Because we've always talked about, yeah, we've known who our enemy is, we've labeled them, we see the playbook, we know their game. But we've talked about this, exposing, but there hasn't been a lot of conversation about what it looks like on the other side, right? How do we keep this from happening again? How do we, what's it going to look like? What's this utopian, this fifth, fifth dimension type of situation look like? And like you said before, it's our fault. We have outsourced our own self-governance for far too long. And so it's going to take a while for us to really grasp what our true power and rights are, and being able to implement that on a scale. Because still, we're not looking for everybody to believe the same thing. We're still going to have, people that have different viewpoints. And it's gotten to the point, the social engineering situation, where you can't even have a conversation to come to a meeting of the minds or agree to disagree. If you don't agree, if you don't believe the way that I believe, then you're a demon, right? You should be canceled. You should be taken off of the planet because you don't believe that's the way that they've seeded our consciousness for so very long, that we can't even have a true, honest intellectual discussion about how we go forward. So I believe that things, Trump is doing what he can, and Ethan says this very nicely. The military is doing stuff what they can legally and lawfully do. We don't want a military takeover. We don't want to be like a military coup type situation. This has to be a kind of an organic situation. And Lewis is 100% correct. I believe we, the people, are the white hats. And who knows what's going to happen? If anybody tells you they know what's going to happen, I mean, we just kind of can read the tea leaves and see that the 2024 situation, a potential election, I just don't see it ending well, and so it has to be stopped for the good of humanity, for many 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 reasons. So we'll see what happens, but we got to prepare. We got to pray for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yeah, I agree. And what's interesting enough, guys, is Bruce, you hit on a really important point. So I was exposing the CIA today on Nicholas Veniamin's channel, and I can tell you that one of my talking points was the CIA has gone into more than 25 countries. They've created their own coups, which has changed the governments. Kids come across the border. I get it. I totally get it. But again, this has been a long war, and the reality is, somebody came in and saved us overnight. Nobody would own it. We'd be right back here in 10 to 20 years. That's just a fact. Lisa, what do we have up next? All right, cool, cool. All right. Next question. If the voting seems legit, why is Trump insulting his much more awake followers who are still seeking U.S. Supreme Court justice for what happened in November 2020 by contesting these primaries? Well, I think it's pretty simple. It's optics. They have to look like they're moving forward in 2024. I think it would be irresponsible not to act as if there is going to be a 2024 election. So I'm acting as if, even though my gut feeling is there will not be, because there's a reason for the gray hats to take it down, and there's a reason for the black hats to take it down. In my opinion. That being said, they have to, in my opinion, continue as if while the Supreme Court and everybody else is being fought in the background, because it shows how deep the corruption is. And I don't want to freak people out, but if there is a 2024 election, I would bet that he will lose that election. And but the fakery will be so obvious that that's when we the people stand up the most. I hope that's not true, but I believe that could be a scenario.
Yeah, because we've seen, I mean, since 2020 has happened, the big, and I know you hate this election, the buzzword that's all about we need elections. All these states are doing these alleged, supposed to be, but even here in Florida, they go to a certain point and they don't go all the way, right? There's things that can be done super easy, super fast, to secure our make sure our votes are free, fair, and counted properly. And just a perfect example, just the South Carolina primary that just happened. There was multiple reports that these machines, the tabulators, were not working properly because there was no internet. But haven't they told us that's what they've been crowing about, that these machines are not connected to the internet, but yet they couldn't count the votes because there was no freaking internet? That doesn't wake you up and have you put your vote folded up and put in a little slot that kind of looks like a shredder slot. you know um, Even I saw a picture on X from a Washington. Anybody in Washington State can confirm this. Maybe Joe and Scott up there at the True Stream. The mail-in ballots. They got a box on the outside now. You can check Democrat or Republican. Sign
Yeah.
your name, and then there's the optional place to put your phone number on the outside of the envelope of your mail-in ballot, because it's all mail-in up there. So that would be super easy. You got Republican. That one goes in the trash. There's been no real meaningful, on a wide scale basis. There's been small victories, but until we can get rid of the machines, we have single day voting, paper ballots, just like Trump and everybody else has been talking about. Until that, and how can we pull that off now? We're 8 months away. Can we change the whole system in a snap of a finger? I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I don't know.
Yeah. The challenge. I don't think we're ever going to vote our way out of this until the elections
No.
are reformed. And I really don't like the election integrity talk, because you don't have integrity unless it's reformed first. So,
And you got
um,
to have transparency. With integrity requires a certain amount of transparency, and all these super.
is demolishing the Democrat Party. And then I believe I believe it would be confusing for people if you demolish the Republican Party right now at the same time. So I believe what's going to happen is they're going to demolish the Democrat Party, and then they'll somehow get themselves in office again, or the military will take over before that, right? And then they'll dismantle the Republican Party from the inside out. I don't believe there will be one party rule. I know there's a lot of patriots predicting that. We the people are not going to allow that anymore. It'll be no parties, I have a feeling, going forward. And that's really the way it should be. And we the people deserve that. Um, let's go on to the next question, please. Oh, Lewis, do you meditate? If so, is your crown chakra open? If so, can you explain what the visions are? Okay. Nobody's going to be happy with this answer. Yes, I do meditate in my own way. I do not study chakras, nor am I interested in it. And the reason why is because I get my direct messages from God. When I meditate, I'll be at my desk, I'll close my eyes for 5 minutes, and I'll just go somewhere else, right? And I believe I'm bringing in the goodness of God at that time. And I pray through meditation also. So I have a different process. I don't listen to anybody. I don't have any gurus. I don't have anybody telling me what's going on. In regards to visions, I do have visions a lot. I wouldn't say when I'm meditating. I do meditate in the shower too, which I'm told is dangerous. But I don't do it a lot. I just find moments when I go, hey, I need peace, and I'll shut down for about 5 minutes. So no, I don't do your standard meditation. I'm not interested in the chakras, so on and so forth. Just like I'm not interested in religion, because I believe I'm directly connected to God Almighty, in my opinion. So the answer is no, I do not do that, but I love people that do. They do a fantastic job, and that's all great, whatever works for them. Visions, I have visions a lot, and you usually see the result of the vision, as Bruce knows, means that everybody has more work to do. So thank you for asking that question. Hey, it looks like we have Robert in the background. Give me a thumbs up if he's going to be coming on with us, and we'll go to the next question. Echo, 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 echo. Oh, yeah, let's go to the next question. Okay, Lewis, if you were deep state, would you do the Black Swan this year or wait till Trump in his office? I would do it this year. Yeah, I would have it come out strong, and try to prevent any way, shape, and form from Trump getting in there, because I think Trump will finally dismantle the deep state while he's in here. Um, that doesn't mean I don't think he's a gray hat, because I think he is a gray hat, but he'll definitely dismantle the black hats while he's in here. Because to me, I think this is a war of two Masonic cultures, to be honest with you. And I know people that love Trump get frustrated, and I totally wholeheartedly support Trump. In fact, I just played a video today that was in support of President Trump. So don't get these things mixed up. But I still think there's a maybe a Masonic Zionist slash Jesuit tie in here, and you have the baby eaters on one side, right, that are getting destroyed currently, and you have people that still want to control possibly the financial system themselves. We'll see. All I know is deception, and there's a lot of it, tells me that we're not dealing with white hats and black hats, we're dealing with gray hats and black hats because of the deception. So that being said, though, absolutely, I believe that if I was running the deep state, which I wouldn't do, but I do look into the eyes of the evil, because that's how you understand them, the black swan would probably happen March, April, May, in my opinion. What do you think, Bruce?
I tend to concur with that as well. Yes, they're at the point where they have to throw all the spaghetti. They have to empty that whole pot onto the wall and see what sticks, because I believe they know the deep state people know that if Trump gets in, they're going to be exposed if they haven't already. Some of the questions that I have, is what, and we've talked about this before. The whole collateral damage thing of allowing, if there is any good, running things, will there, how much collateral damage is acceptable?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be, the black swan, a financial situation, and that has to maybe happen? I don't know, what it's going to be, but everything is pointing to some major event happening before the election. That's what everything is pointing at. And but then again, we talk about too, and we know the CIA is corrupt as the day is long, and we want to take down, we want to drain the swamp. These are great phrases and things to talk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But nobody's talking about how do we rebuild it? What's it look like on the other side?
Hmm. Yeah. That's a great point. For you, those of you that want to learn more about the gray hats and what I'm talking about, Ethan, Lucas, and I, Wednesday, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, are doing part 3 of gray hats this Wednesday. So tomorrow, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern on his channel on the Ethan Lucas Show. So you guys check it out. We'll go more in depth about gray hats there. All right, what's up next? Okay, Bruce, what are your thoughts on the 3 horses?
Or are you talking about the horses that are in the Book of Revelation? Is that what they're speaking of?
I thought that was I don't know. It's a vague question. We
Yeah,
get
3
questions.
horses.
Yeah, we get questions like this all the time, and a lot of people assume that we're watching other stuff, and so some questions we just can't answer. I don't know.
Right. I mean,
In the
are they
Bible,
Clydesdales?
there's four
I don't know.
horsemen in the Bible. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
we'll, yeah, we'll take a new question. Do you see Jacob Rothschilds as a more legit marker?
His expiration or removal from this plane, I believe. I mean, I believe that was a key point. Yeah, because the Rothschilds are the funders, backers, creators, essentially, of all the central banks. So I mean, if them, that going down, I mean, I'm sure that there's somebody else. Lewis has mentioned, if we take off the head of the snake or the top tier mafia people, it's the cockroaches, the middle level ones are gonna. That's where the chaos comes from all those people scrambling trying to fill that void. So that could be the beginning, because we know it has to be. There is no doubt that there has to be some type of financial. We hate the Great Reset, but there has to be a financial reset, or else we're going to continue in this debt.
When I went back and watched the interview and I studied a little bit about Bill O'Reilly, he's a major big pharma shill that had tons of money in big pharma. So I believe he set President Trump up in that interview, and so, but that's what the deep state does. Ultimately. All right, let's go to the next question. Nothing came on the screen yet. We are waiting. Let's take a commercial break.
We got the finger. Hold on. Can't see Lisa in the back. I can see her. Hold on.
I'm going to pass on this one. I don't even know what they're talking about. Go to the next one, Lisa. Is there proof the New World Order is over when the first 15-minute city has opened in the USA? I go, when the first 15-minute city opens, I think the proof would be the New World Order is doing really well, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're still pushing that stuff. Whether that's the thing is, we talked about this. Whole goes back to the white hackers and control and movie situation. I call bullshit on that, because the World Economic Forum, the WHO, all these other, the Trilateral Commission, the Council for Relations, the Club of Rome, they're all pushing headlong, even in your city right now, where I live in St. Petersburg, Pinellas County, Florida. They're implementing very small pieces, and you don't even know about it, because it's such a small thing, but they're implementing this 2030 agenda right now. So, we tend to want to, look at, Trump is coming and saving, white hats are taking care of it. The New World Order, all the World Economic Forum people, they're playing a long game. They have been for a very long time.
Right.
So we're just to think that they're going to, just because New World Order is over, they're still pushing forward with this. It's happening. Right. And if we don't, that's why it's so important that we stand up and say no. Like, just one perfect minimal example. Here in Clearwater, there's an election coming up, and they're trying to change it and make it. It's a first step towards that. What do they call that? Ranked choice voting. Just in the city, they want to have a runoff if somebody doesn't get 50% of the vote. So that's kind of like the first step, the little thing. They're not calling it ranked choice voting. because they always play games with the words. They're spellcasters and they're wordsmiths, right? So, but just by saying, hey, if somebody doesn't get 50%, we're going to have another election, have a runoff, and keep having a runoff till somebody gets 50% of the votes. That's ranked choice voting, and that is not constitutional. There's no way that can happen. They're wanting to change that in Clearwater, Florida, right now.
You know, that's a catch-22 because I'm dealing with this in a local city in Southern California, and the city has been it's a beautiful city. You've been in the city. It's been completely corrupted because that what they've done out here is you can get in office with a 12% vote or less. And it's been completely corrupted because you have the main deep state politician in there. Then you have the person running against them that is going to destroy them. Let's say they call themselves a Republican. Then they'll run 4 or 5 other Republicans in there to dilute the vote so the deep state actor gets voted in. So the if that happened and then they took the two highest ones and then they had to go against each other again, that would actually work on this case. So it's really a slippery slope
Right.
either way because they're using that. We've caught it. We know exactly what's going on and we can do zero about it. And now this city has 3 deep state actors in it that we know 100%. One of them's Black Lives Matter funded, and the other one appears to be Soros funded, which really is the same. So, and this is a conservative city that we're talking about. So it's a slippery slope. It's really, really hard. Not,
Oh, yeah.
not, not to get off base on the 15-minute city thing, but Bruce said something really important. He said it's the long game. And folks, we have to look at this. Why is this so hard for us and so easy for the baddies? Okay, we look very myopic in front of our feet at what's coming next. What's next week? What our next paycheck? What's our next vacation? What's the next game on TV? They don't. They work off of bloodlines. So what John Senior does now, John Jr. continue it, and John the second, and then John the third and fourth like that, is just as good enough for him because they believe in a couple of things. They believe in this bloodline thing, so it doesn't matter when it happens; it's going to happen for them. And they also believe in transmuting your consciousness forward. So you have these very weird belief systems. For them, 1,000 years is nothing. For us, 1,000 days is everything, even 1,000 hours, right? So we have to understand the way they work. And just to tag on to the 15-minute city thing, so you know, folks, years ago, many people don't know this, Bill Gates bought property right outside of Phoenix and was openly talking about 15-minute cities. Didn't call it 15-minute city, but he openly talked about how this is going to be a technological city. It's going to be a city within itself. Here's how it's going to work. Blah blah. Guess where they've already approved the funding? They approved it in Maricopa County for a 15-minute city. So this stuff's been going on for a long time, guys. They play the long game. We need to know that. All right.
This will be the last one for me because I got to jump off to get ready to board for our second cruise.
No worries, brother, man. Or I'll let you answer this first then. Are all these male immigrants flooding USA, UK, UN soldiers with the purpose to enforce the NWO?
I don't know that they're all. There is some other plan. I don't know what it is, but the numbers of, single military, you hear this, military age men are extraordinary. We've talked about before how that you can't leave China unless they let you. The tens of so whether they're actual UN soldiers a lot of that stuff is being funded by UN and our government, quite frankly, through the NGOs. So they are setting it up. Whether it's for one thing, I think it's a multifaceted situation. That Cloward Piven strategy is in play. Where they're wanting to take, wear down the system, overwhelm the system, welfare system, so that they have to do something from a federal level to make things fair. But what is happening is not sustainable, and it is a push for a new world order. I believe that is their ultimate end goal, and their replacement strategy. We've heard that replacement in voters, getting them serving in the military to give them pathway to citizenship. All these different little things are pointing in. Bottom line, it's no bueno. It's unsustainable the way it is, and it's going to end badly. And who knows how that's going to happen, but I just can't see. I mean, we've seen it. You can look, they've been doing this type of stuff in Europe for a while, taking away their borders, all the migrants from Syria, all these other Middle East countries coming in, and you can see what's happening with the culture in countries like France and in the UK and Germany, with all these migrants not willing to assimilate. It could be a Muslim Islam thing, who knows? But it's not good. And whether they're all funded by UN, I don't think that's their one. There isn't one thing. Yeah, that's the UN. That's what we're doing. I think it's a multi-pronged deal. So that's my viewpoint, unpopular as it might be.
Nah, I concur with most of that actually. Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate you spending time with us today on in between your stint there in entertainment world, the good one, and we'll see you soon, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you, Lisa. Robert didn't make it. We'll talk to him later.
Yeah, we'll talk to Robert later. What in the world is this? This is Numi, folks. Numi has what I call the most powerful thing on earth. Well, other than your belief in God. Numi is what? It's glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant. What does glutathione do for you? In essence, it tells your body how to perform and look for the things that are going wrong and fix them. Pretty phenomenal. So it goes and it helps your mitochondria, your pituitary system, your immune system do the job it's supposed to do. And that's why it works so phenomenal. We have stories after stories after stories. Guys, Numi is phenomenal. You just swish it in your mouth. I hear so many people are getting rid of other supplements and other pills and no one, so it really ends up putting money back in their pocket. It's just amazing. And as most people know, we do not push a lot of products here. We've had hundreds that come across between Robert and we may bring one or two more on in the near future, but it's not going to be a lot. That being said, they also have Numi spray and hers, which helps the ladies out. All right, so just go to numi.com/lherms on ScrewBigGuff. If you're on another channel, use their link below. All right, let's go to the next question. Looks like I'm going solo, flying solo. All right, 6 questions left, I'm told. All right, so I don't know what these questions are, guys. So when I read them out, it is what it is. What, when, and where's our next epic adventure in our quest for freedom? I'm missing you all more than the Twinkies. Laugh out loud. I know it is. I knew right away. When he said Twinkies, I know that my formaldehyde friend is what he was talking about. Well, I can tell you, we just secured it today. In April, I will be traveling to a certain location in Arizona, and then I will be going to multiple locations in Florida. Um, and Natalie Poppy, if you're listening, go ahead and book that event that they want me to speak at because I will be there in Florida with my lovely wife from April 10th to 16th, and I'll be in and around Arizona for the week previous to that. So that's what's on my agenda. But really, what's coming up next, and I'm really excited about, is I'm working on something I call the Unity Project. And between Remember Your Oath, the app, bringing truthers and good people together, music and so on and so forth, this will and freedom in action, all of this stuff will be launched hopefully within March. That's my goal, and I'm very very excited. I think this is going to take it to the next level, folks. And you know how much money it's going to cost you? Get your wallets out because it's expensive. Zero free. That's it. Nothing. That's not the way we do our business here. We want you to have access to everything free if we can handle it and afford it. So look forward to what I call the Unity Project, but it will be coming in many different forms. And I think you guys will really, really, really appreciate what we're bringing to you. All right, Kevin, thank you for that. Next up, any opinions on the Mund Act and COG influencing the current mainstream news? It's interesting how that is, and I know I'm assuming you're talking about continuity of government. I think it's interesting because I believe that the CIA has run the mainstream media and Hollywood for a long time. I mean, a long time. We've been influenced through Tavistock. If you read Tavistock, for sure. I understand you want to know how it's influenced it. It's really hard to. It kind of overlaps a question before. What do you see in great? How much is the white hat narrative versus the black hat narrative? And Bruce and I are right 50-50 or 60-40. Good guys, which I call the gray hats, are are pushing things forward. So I think there is a lot of influence now, and that's why you're going to see. I believe you're going to see MSNBC getting a lot worse very, very soon. I believe CNN will come around, Fox will come around. New York Times is already starting to do some very interesting articles that would not be typical New York Times articles. So we need to pay attention. I do believe there's good people doing work in the background, and I see a sea change. Now, you may just want to say it's just it's we the people that are influencing it. We're not putting it up any putting up with it anymore, which is I think even better. If that's what's going to make the change in everything, because now they're going to like, okay, we're getting intimidated by we the people. That actually works a lot better. So I'm not sure which, but I would say yes, there is significant influence right now in mainstream news, and you're going to see more of it. All righty, what do we got next? Man, I've been taking down trolls lately with our admins doing a great job in chat. It's fun to watch. All right, next up, in your honest opinion, oh man, I really wanted to lie about this question, but I'll have to. I guess I'm going to have to tell the truth. What do we got here? In your honest opinion, do you gentlemen, well, it's only one gentleman now. Sorry about that. Sorry to let you down. Think there really are med beds? Okay, man, you're right in my wheelhouse. 100% there are med beds. What is a med bed to you though? Right? If a med bed to you is a bed that puts out certain frequencies, healing frequencies, and helps people heal, absolutely 100%. I've seen it, been in them, been in a clinic with med beds that do that. If a med bed to you is going to regrow your limbs and cure you of everything going on, so on and so forth, I would say it's pretty clear that they do have that technology. So I would say, yes, I believe they're real, but they're being used in limited use. So I do think it's legit. Based on the technology that I've seen firsthand, I've been very blessed to see this. I saw it firsthand. I know there's more technology out there than what I saw, and it was extraordinary. So, yes, I do think there are, but I don't go with the whole medbed saving the world narrative yet. I think we tend to jump off a cliff with that stuff, and I think it's unhealthy to do so. I think that answers that question. What's up next? Oh, by the way, I I will tell you a medbed story really quick. You'll like it. So there's somebody that I was on the phone with that was just about ready to spend $230,000 on a medbed, and she was going to create a clinic with the medbed and some other things. $230,000. I said, "Wow, you must really believe in this." And she's like, "I do." I go, "Okay." So this is frequencies, I assume. She said, yes, it's frequencies. I said, okay. Do you trust that the people programming the frequency have actually tested it? Do you trust that the frequencies coming through are good and not evil? She canceled her contract. It was that simple to get her off of that. And that's what we need to be aware of, folks, is if good guys are going to be putting out technology that's going to heal us, the deep state bad actors are going to be putting out technology that appears to heal us, and it's going to do exactly the opposite. You watch the supplement industry. I would say soon there will be stuff that will be doing just as much damage as big pharma is when big pharma starts to get really taken down, because they're going to have an outlet for that, because their agenda still is to keep us poisoned. So we need to be aware of that. All right, let's see, what do we got up? I was informed that our local emergency services contacted all the schools in our county to cancel April 8th, and was advised to be prepared for outages. Any thought on this? Well, I haven't heard that actually. Um, it's interesting that they would. That's about 6 weeks from now. That's pretty incredible that they would know ahead of time. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a planned outage. Maybe they're changing over the grid. The electric grid. I really don't know. But that's. I wish I had more information for you. But I won't say I know if I don't know. That's an I don't know situation. All right. Some dude named Q said that the military is the only way. What are your thoughts on this? I don't say the only way. I think we, the people, are the way, and the adjunct to it would be the military. So I believe at the start of this, I actually think it started before President Trump came into office, by the way. And I think that's why you saw Hillary go through her meltdown, and they put out a body double the same afternoon. That was under the Obama administration. That doesn't mean Obama was involved, right? I think, though, that this started before. Frankly, I think a lot of it started under John F. Kennedy. So that brings it really, really deep. I do believe that the the top heads of many of these families that we talk about, these 13 families, the ones that you never hear, and the second tier, and a lot of corporation heads that were evil, they all got taken out at the same time. That would have had to be military action to do that. And I do believe that there is absolutely military action going on. I think the myth is it may be the only way, and then expand on that sentence to take out a lot of the baddies, but the real only way is with the participation of we the people. And I think that's the direction that we're going right now. And I believe that's where trust the plan was misunderstood. Trust the plan was never sit back and eat your popcorn. Trust the plan is get off your couch, get your ass in gear, and do something to save your community. Forget the country. You save where the community goes, your city goes, your county goes, your state goes, and the country goes. Where our country goes, the rest of the world goes. So it's a big deal, but the micro fixes the macro. So I would say focus on your community with we the people. If the military does it, fantastic. God bless them. I'll be behind them all the way if they're going to take down the deep state. All right. All right. I guess this is the last question. What? We're going to end with this? Oh, my Lord. Thoughts on the flat earth theory. Okay. Whew. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to have to go deep here. I'm going to do that meditation in 5 seconds, not 5 minutes right now. All right. I'm probably the only person on the planet with this theory. And I've been saying most of it for years. And I'm now going to articulate the last half of it. I believe that I don't believe there's a specific globe like everybody talks about. And here's why. Because it's the Big Bang Theory is BS, right? our planet flying through space at 666,000 miles an hour is BS. That's 666. Everything about the Earth translates into 333 or 666. That's all crazy optics, and we 100% did not land man on the moon. That's ludicrous. I just proved that earlier this week. So under Nixon, that they can call the moon what on a landline, and he talks to them right away. But today they can't even get a signal for the moon for 15 minutes, and finally when they do, it's 15-second delayed today, just this last week. So there's a lot of fakery going on now. So I'm not saying it's not a globe. I'm just saying there's a lot of fakery going on in regards to this. Now, for the flat earthers, I want you to think about something. Why is there so much evidence from NASA screwing up that proves it's suddenly a flat earth? Because they want you to think that. Because they're dealing in a duality. This is Freemason 101. They need the black and white. They need a bunch of you to think flat earth and a bunch of you to think globe. Are you telling me a multi-billion-dollar NASA with all the resources in the world is constantly going to be screwing up, dropping things when they're supposed to be in zero gravity, saying things like, "Oh yeah, we went to the moon before, but we lost all the technology. We lost all the tapes that were at the moon. Oh, you see wires when astronauts are spinning and bubbles coming up from their masks because they're actually underwater." Do you really think they'd be releasing those videos when they have a multi-billion-dollar budget? No. They want you to see that because they're trying to create a duality, the Freemason duality of black and white. They need people to believe in flat earth. They need people to believe in globe, which tells me there's probably something different. And what I believe that could be is like a toroidal field. I believe, though, space, whether flat or in the air, is a little bit different than people. And this is a part I've never really talked about, except maybe once with Ethan Lucas. This is a quantum realm that we live in. What does that mean? I believe we can go to the end of what we believe is the plane or the globe. And when we get there, there'll be more, and there'll be more, and there'll be more, because it's infinite. But until you observe it, and this is quantum physics, it does not exist. I know this is deep, but when you go down there and you go to the end and you observe it, then guess what? It's already there right before you get there, right? Boom. When you observe it, it's there. When you observe it, it's there. So that's what I believe we're going to find out. And this is why you hear it's so much bigger than we possibly can imagine. Well, I'm a believer in God. I'm believing in a higher power, the Almighty. And I can tell you, would God be able to do that? Absolutely. Why not? And wouldn't it make more sense to be infinite? Then you don't really ever have an issue with population. You'll never have an issue. Let's even assume there's other aliens or other space or other races out there, other beings, interplanetary beings, whatever. None of it matters if we're living in a quantum realm, more like a matrix, because it just grows upon you observing it. That's what makes sense to me. Crazy, deep, I know it, but that's funny we'd end on that question because that is pretty interesting. All right, folks, I think that about does it. We appreciate you very, very much. For those of you watching now, and you had to go through all the technical craziness, and we're switching platforms and moving this around. Apologize for that, but I don't know that was on our side. That could have been a Rumble thing going on. Regardless, really appreciate you. Come back tomorrow, and we have news and views. Tomorrow, I'll be on Ethan Lucas's show late, and Thursday, we have a very, very special program. If you want to see Border Warriors, come visit us Thursday right here at the same time. And we're going to have Victor Avila, who actually was part of the Border Patrol. He was a great guy, which I just met. Really, just absolutely warrior. He's going to really give you some good information. He's going to be here also. His name's Sean Wilson. So that will be on Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, and of course you'll have Bruce Poppy and Robert back here on Friday. Lisa, I appreciate you very much for taking over today and saving this show from the white noise. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. Folks, really appreciate you. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you to all my admins. And honey, if you're listening, thank you for putting up with me. I love you so much. Good night.